Hi everyone, it's Rebecca here, and I'm going to talk about, well, I got a new filter, so I haven't run it yet at all, but I'm just going to comment on what I think of it so far. I'm going to sort it all out tonight. It's almost done, like any of the stiff bits, which are quite, the tubing is a lot stiffer than it looks, so done that so far. So this is the Eheim Professional 4 Plus for 250 litres maximum. So this is going to be my backup filter since my 106 did leak and I am not willing to fix it. So this is the filter itself. It's a canister filter, which I do recommend for any tank over 100 litres. They're very popular in the UK, apart from internals, which I have another Eheim one. Eheim is a reliable brand. Everyone really knows who they are, especially in Europe, in the UK. I believe they're a German brand. Their name, I think, hints it. So they've been around a long time, and a lot of their models have also been around a long time. So this one, I think, is one of their newer ones. They do have a thermo range which has a heater inside of it, although I prefer not to have heaters inside of the filters because it always makes me think that it's another area that has to be sealed. So this one doesn't contain a heater. There's an Awaza range which also has a heater, but you can get inline heaters and inline UV, whereas some canisters do contain a UV, I believe now. Not that I'd use it. So this is very different from the Fluval. I left my Fluval upstairs, which I could compare it with. So it's got a similar sort of build. It is a sort of pressure filter. That term's more used in ponds though. But so it's under high pressure, so it does mean that it has to be sealed quite well, and that's where the problem usually comes. So it's basically on the outside. Oh, it's heavy. It does have little suction pad, well, not suction pads, little pads, so it doesn't vibrate as much, which my Fluvals are very loud and they do produce a sort of rumbling sound, especially the 206. The 306 isn't as bad, but it's very bad when it's trying to clear the air. So on the top, I believe, here, this is to adapt the flow, so the flow rate. And then this on the top is to connect the tubes and attach them in, a bit like the Fluvals one where you press it in. I assume so. So you can adjust the flow, which is useful, especially if you want maybe fish that prefer lower flow. So you can adapt it. This on top I assume is to prime it, but I'm not sure whether these are self-priming. I'm not entirely sure on that. So it contains, I like these tubes, they're not the most pretty, neither is Fluval or any others, so it's just black. Sometimes you can get clear tubes and glass tubes online, which are a lot more sort of pretty for that sort of thing. So I've attached these. This, I had to read this up, but you just cut up a bit of the tubing and then attach this on. So this is a spray bar. I think I'm going to try out the spray bar and see how it goes, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't used one in a long time. And I generally use the traditional sort of, not really sure what to call it. And it's just a general external sort of with the sort of siphon inlet tube. I'm not going to stick a sponge in it. I don't like doing that because it reduces the flow in. And there will be plenty of bacteria in there. And mechanical sponges, when they're in the tank, you clean it or you move it a little bit and all the dirt comes out. So especially with sort of this tank where it is my pleco, more pleco orientated tank, so it is quite mucky. So it's rather easy to open. You just open using, I haven't got the strongest wrist right now, but there you go. So it's a lot easier than the Fluvals to actually open it. So there's 4 things, which rather than 2 clamps. I can only really compare to Fluvals because that's what I've used. external wise, and then I believe you just open that up, which is much simpler than usually you're tugging at it for quite a while. It does have a seal around there. I'm not sure whether it's worth lubricating it at all with Vaseline. I might do that just quickly before I do anything. But this is all the electronic bits. It's big. So this is where the impeller is, the whole motor area. I won't open it up. I assume it's already set up, and then, yeah, the impeller's in there. So I can hear something move, which I'm not too sure about. So, yeah, so you just open, actually, yeah, you get to impeller like this. And it should come off. It might be magnetised slightly. But it does mean you can get to the impeller. There we go, and that's the ceramic tube and the impeller in there. There we go. The ceramic, it's not really a tube, it's more of a rod. You do have to be very careful with it because it is ceramic, it is very delicate. So you do have to be careful about that. I don't know what that thing is moving around, and I can't remember. I had it last night. Okay, so next you open it up and it goes into the pre-filter, which I'll just say is another level of sponges, but if they say so. So this is just a very wise or biological, maybe a bit mechanical, but I can't see it having many things like not passing through, if you get what I mean. So it goes in here, from the pump, in here. I do need to read up about, because I was deciding which one between the Eco, and then I know Professional range is one of their top most recommended ranges, so I got this instead. So it's got another box of floss. I don't know about having floss here in the filter, so I prefer to have mine right on top, but I need to learn more about the filter before. But this floss ain't gonna last long, so I'll have to replace it probably quite quickly, my floss. And then some sort of biological media. They all have their own names. This is Substrat Flow, but there's loads of different names for loads of different types of media, and it's just biological media. When it does clog, I will clean it under old tank water, but I could also do it by just replacing it bits at a time. But there we go, and then I always forget how to do this, but I've been... So that just fits on there. It's all mostly biological. I don't think that pre-filter is carbon, but I'll have to check on that. Depends if it says to replace how often, then you know. So this is the other biological media. It's just sort of like little tube bits, if you see here, and then. So it's just like that little tube that goes all the way through. So it's just general biological media. There's loads of different types, and it doesn't really matter which is because the surface air will be shared out by the bacteria anyway, and there's only going to be so much bacteria in the tank. It's just getting enough flow for the whole thing. So just gonna put that on top, and then there we go. So it's pretty simple filter. They're all. This is probably the largest I get till before I go to more sumps and stuff like that. Although having a canister filter per each tank or sump per each tank does reduce the risk of disease. For stuff like Plex, Rolorcade, any high waste fish, I wouldn't be using a sponge filter preferably. Apart from goldfish, where I'd be doing more traditional, more water changes. So it's just simple. It's quite a heavy, without the water even, it is very heavy. So that's the main thing. And Eheim never does produce the most attractive things. but they do last and they are good quality. So don't be taken in by things just because they look pretty. Because how it looks doesn't mean about its power. This has up to, I think it's 950 litres per hour, optimum. That would depend on how much media it has in it and other stuff like that. It's 12 watts, so that's about, I'd say about £20 pushing it maximum on the electricity a year. And the head height is 1.5 metres, so that's pretty good. And yeah, so it's just like that. And I'll give it a go and I'll see how it goes. So my tank will have a lot more flow because the 106 was a backup filter, and this will basically do the whole tank as well as the 306. So it's more suited to the Plex. That means that the goldfish can keep their current tank. Current filter, sorry, not tank, because they're getting another tank. So I think for the butterfly telescopes, I'll put them on a sponge filter. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'll probably do more detailed videos once I've got everything up and running. I wasn't planning to do this video, but I got the filter, so I have. It's probably sort of September time when I set up the new tanks and get them running. I'm going to decide on my new tank because I'm not sure if I want to make it into Hillstream or not. I might do a different type of Hillstream, or freshwater tropical rather than freshwater temperate cold water, or I might do the borderline between the two, the sort of 21 to 25. So it is very much in the temperate region as well as touching on tropical. I'll also show the goldfish tanks once they're all sorted out and all moved. And I'll hopefully be looking at getting some butterfly moors because I've only got one. Butterfly telescope, sorry. More globe eyes anyway. Because my boy needs some girls, and another boy. So, and I'll do hopefully a lion head or something like that, Japanese top view ranching. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like my videos, please comment, rate and subscribe. Thank you.